Hello, everybody. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele with my amazing, excited Super Bowl Sunday co-host, Ron. How you doing today, Ron?
Doing the wave. Woo! Go team. Go Bengals.
You knew the teams. I didn't know the teams.
I only know the teams because my dad is very excited. The Bengals this is the first time they've been in the Super Bowl in over a decade or something like that, but it's just a really good time. If Andy Dalton was still on the Bengals, I'd be paying attention a lot more.
Ooh.
Andy Dalton is one of the most attractive quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life.
Wow, I have no idea who that is, but I'm going to look him up after. We do have a couple of mates here. Hi, Sherilyn.
Hello, mate.
Hello, mates. I mean, that doesn't sound Australian. And hi, Ashley. Hello to you. So, there's a lot that's been going on. If you've been watching Big Brother Celebrity, like that has been really occupying my brain. So we are going to fumble through these 3 episodes with me watching this on Monday. And so much has gone on in my brain since then. So please be patient with us as we kind of recap episode 4, episode 5, and episode 6. We do not know what's happened this weekend, so we're not up to date. I won't be watching that until tomorrow at 7 p.m. I'm not sure when Ron watches it, but he hasn't watched 7 yet.
I did watch it this morning.
Oh, okay. So Ron's...
But we're not talking about it. We're not talking about it. That's next week.
Thank you.
You gotta come back next week to watch that one, everybody. Tune in next week.
Exactly. Tune in next week. So if we could stumble through episode 4, we do come to the Blood Tribe, and we hear Sandra making a confessional saying that the tribal council was somewhere between a shit show and a 3-ring circus. Mm-hmm. Do you agree with Sandra's take on how that tribal council went?
Well, yeah, that was a blunder of a lot of things going on. Like they say in the episode, how do you blindside yourself? But Dave seemed to figure out how to blindside himself. But I mean, he ended up saving himself, which was great. But it was a blindside overall because I did not think that Kate was going to get as many votes as she did.
Yeah, well, I thought that they were going to just try to flush out Dave's idol at that point and take somebody out for sure. So I kind of had a feeling that was how it was going to go down, but Sandra was right. So she starts talking to Amy and telling Amy that she feels as though David is a loose cannon and but David wants to build trust. And I'm just like, why are people latching on to David? I would agree with Sandra that I wouldn't want to be playing with someone like David. Look at Sam. Sam was working in David's favor, and all of a sudden he saw that as her being deceitful, coming for him, and completely tried to blow up her game at Tribal Council. So would you be working hard to be rebuilding trust with Dave and wanting to be working with him and don't want him to go?
I guess a lot of it depends on the dynamics of what the tribe is. And Dave people wanted to keep Dave because he's strong and good for the challenges, but they also had all those alpha males that they were really worried about. And there's a lot of strong females playing this game. So I feel like Dave is kind of take him or leave him. He must have a really good personality.
It doesn't seem so.
He doesn't seem it, but he must. Because
wouldn't he edit it into the episode? If you have a great personality, you would show it, I would think.
Well, I think there was an interview done many, many, many years ago, and people will probably not get this reference at all, but Nick Stanberry from Exile Island, Panama, season 12, that Aris won. He was on the Young Men's Tribe. He was just this all-American football-looking guy. At the end of the entire show, the one thing Nick said, Jeff asks, what do people want to remember about you? And he goes, Nick was hungry. And he was like, what? That's such the most random thing for people to say. But in interviews, I don't know, I forget who it was, but in other interviews, people were like, Nick was one of the funniest people that was out there. And they just never showed his personality because there was other things to capture. So maybe he is. Maybe Dave is funny and we just don't know it. I think if Brianna is any tell of what they're like, maybe he has more personality than we're seeing.
Fair. Okay, we'll give him a maybe. Hi, Diva.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us here in the chat. So Sam is shocked, though, that David called her out, called her for being for her social and strategic game. So that is
Mhm.
also interesting that Sam is recognizing that David does have a decent read on things, but like it's
Yeah.
not fully fleshed out. It's probably because he's not a super fan or a fan of the show at all. But he did recognize that Sam is social and strategic. I'd be
Yeah.
scared of him because it's kind of like he has all this information and he doesn't know how to use it in a way that's going to be beneficial for probably Sam's game. I'd be
Yeah. And
scared of him.
nobody is wanting to help him. So maybe that's Amy's angle is she might see that value and then want to help him out.
I don't know if I would throw my game away for David. Potentially. I mean, obviously it could work or whatnot, but like I don't
Oh
know if I would
no,
just
no. I would never throw my game away so David could have a shot to stay any longer. Like if I ever thought
right?
that it was between me and David, it's goodbye David at any cost.
I hope so.
But yeah.
Hi, Tishmong. Okay, hi guys. It's the first one. Make sure I catch this one. Thank you for being here. We are definitely working through these episodes that we saw like a week ago, but we're happy to have you here in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
I would keep David, not work with him. I wouldn't work hard to keep him in the game. That's my point. I would kind of just let him
Yeah.
like things happen. I wouldn't go against him. I wouldn't go for him. I would just allow him to do his thing. I wouldn't have my
Mhm.
eyes set on him. And if we had to vote him out, I wouldn't care. You know,
Well,
that's how I think I'd play it.
every person there has some value, and Dave's value, I think, would be if you show loyalty to him, he'll probably show loyalty to you and side with you. So maybe it's just smarter to just be on his good side because you might need him down the line. But to me, he's would be the most expendable person there.
And when I think about like just games that I like to play, so for instance, like poker, if I'm playing
Mhm.
poker with someone that doesn't know how to play poker, it's actually not fun for me because like with poker you're kind of gauging what people are going to do and how you would play if you had certain cards and you're looking at signs, and if someone just playing all like randomly that you can't gauge how they play, it actually doesn't, it's not fun for me to play a game, a strategic game. And so I don't think
Mhm.
I'd want even to have David in the game because he's making moves that are not strategically sound in a way that I understand them. And so him being a loose cannon I wouldn't be able to figure out what he's doing. I need to get him out of here. So
Yeah.
I think actually I'm lying. I think I would try to get him out. I mean, get out of here.
Goodbye. Flush that Dave out of the pot. Whatever the
Exactly.
poker terms
Down the
are.
river.
Goodbye.
Down the
Down the
well,
river. Down the river,
flop.
Dave. Yeah, flop out here, Dave. Down the river.
Exactly. So we go over to the water tribe, and I can't believe it's only day 8. Day 8. It seems like a lot has gone on, and these people have already been through hell and back. And there's like still like 40 days to go. So Khan's talking about how it's nice to have a day off and that he feels as though he's very much at the top of the tribe. Did you start to get scared hearing him say this kind of sound bite?
So scared. The second they start saying they're on the top, you know that's a bad sign. They are nowhere near the top. If you feel comfortable, you should never feel comfortable in this game.
Never. And then we see Mark after that. So I was saying that Mark may have his eyes set on Khan with that idol because Khan has that idol that he told everybody that he has. And so I could never say that I'm on top of the tribe with having an idol because like that means that everybody's looking at you and looking for a way to blindside you and vote you out, and you don't use your idol. Like that's what everybody's thinking of. So
yeah,
Khan should start to be worried for sure.
For sure.
What did I write here? Blondie. I guess I'm trying to remember who people are. I'm like Blondie, Jordan, and Josh. I don't know. So tell Shay and KJ. What was I talking about there? Do you know?
Blondie, you're like all over the map in terms of who's on which tribe.
So,
KJ,
no,
Shay.
Blondie. So I put an arrow and I put tell Shay and KJ. So this is still on water. Maybe I was wondering who Blondie is. Who is Blondie? That's Josh,
well,
right?
that would be.
Oh,
Well,
that's just writing his name down. It's Josh. It's Josh.
Josh isn't even blonde.
Isn't Josh the one that looks like, not Steve Buscemi, but like that kind of
No.
look? Who's that?
Yeah. Josh has the slick back dark hair and the tattoo on the chest. He's Jordan, the athlete who has power bottom on his shorts. His
The things
Speedo.
that you remember and recognize, I don't remember anybody having power bottom
There,
on his shorts.
I'm sure it doesn't say bottom, but it says power something, and I just laugh every time. He's the pilot. Josh is the pilot, and on that tribe, the curly hair with like a little bit of red in it is Jordy. So he might be, and he's brother to Jesse, who is the really blonde Chris Atkinson looking one on the Blood Tribe.
All right. Thanks. I don't know what my notes are. We'll just pretend it doesn't say.
But the other blonde person on the Water Tribe is KJ, Sophie's sister.
That I know who KJ is. But so tell us KJ. So I guess Mark talking about Khan and his idol is talking to Shay and KJ about Khan's idol.
Yes, they're all talking about Khan's idol. They're really afraid of Khan's idol, which is just funny because Shay still has an idol. And nobody is super scared about Shay's idol, but Khan's idol is the one to target because he thinks he's the king of the tribe. So they're all worried and they're all talking about flushing the idol. That's the main strategy, I think, on the Water Tribe at the time.
Gotcha. All right. We made it through. So we get to the reward challenge. Brings up again that the tribal was a shit show and a 3-ring circus. And Sandra mentions that she did get a vote. Now, how do you think of this as Sandra's strategy with kind of already calling out, like, I did get a vote? Now, Sandra, we know, assumes that it was David that put the vote on her. But we as the audience knows that it was Sam. So what were you feeling about Sandra kind of calling her shot, but doesn't have her, sniper aimed at the right person right now?
I think the mention of the vote could be Sandra letting them know that she's not as powerful as they might perceive her to be, because she's going to be worried that everybody thinks that she's the one to take out. Like was their first tribal council as a tribe, and she's still there. She got a vote, so she's not immune. She is vulnerable, and maybe that's her way of sharing with everybody a bit of strategy. Like, you can, like, I'm like everybody else. I'm no different, but you are, Sandra. But she's probably trying to lay little Easter eggs for them to say, like, if I could be a vote maybe down the line as well.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that, like, if I were Sam, I would be like, ooh, like, I'm going to have to get her out, because if she's going to start doing a little bit of investigative work and realize that it's not David and that it was me, I could be screwed. So let's get out Sandra to protect that.
That's such a weird, I can't remember another instance where Sandra was wrong about the way the votes went, because she's completely off. She just thinks it's Dave because her and Dave might have had exchanges. But her being so short-sighted on that it was just the one person and she's assuming that it was, is either really good gameplay on Sam's part or it's just really awful observation on Sandra's part. And I think it might be, like, it's probably a combination of both, unfortunately.
And it doesn't seem like David is saying that it wasn't him, which that I also don't understand why he's not trying to clear his name from, like, wouldn't you, like, if Sandra thought, like, I was the person that voted, be like, Sandra, I know that I wanted you out, but I actually voted for Kate.
Yeah, I feel like you've got to play a bit of defense on that one too, because Sandra's target was Dave, and she ended up getting the majority of votes on Dave anyways. So she's powerful in that sense. If you don't want to be continuously a target of Sandra's, try and get that target off of you and onto somebody else. Maybe he was trying again to repair that relationship with Sam because he wanted to
maybe
there, because she was defending him. Yeah, there's only 47 days and 30.
then does he know that Sam did the vote, right? Like who's he think he's protecting? Or maybe he's just not even smart enough to know that, like, maybe the people that he tried to get to vote Sandra, maybe he thought that one of them actually did vote Sandra, so he doesn't want to let those people in the hot seat, and he'll just take the heat for them. Like, I don't know. Like, I would just definitely try to exonerate myself. So Sherry Lynn says, I'd be more leery of Sam after that and wonder if someone could use her emotions again to change the plan last minute. Well, Sandra doesn't seem to know that Sam did that vote. I don't think anybody knows that Sam did that vote at this point. So I'm leery of Sam as a viewer, but still don't get the information.
And we'll see this later on in the episode with Sam and how she is with emotion and voting, because she's gonna have to make a tough decision. So she is leery, because if you know Sam, you know not to really rely too heavily on her to be that tight of a person. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they're going to be having civilized morning tea, and that is the reward. How are you a tea person? Tea or coffee?
I drink both. Hot liquids.
Oh, I just got tea or coffee.
Yeah. I drink both, babes.
Sorry, I just totally heard it.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Tea or coffee? I like tea. I'm a tea girl.
We drink a lot in our house. My husband being British, we drink tea usually in the evening, but coffee first thing in the morning is a necessity.
Oh. I had a coffee today, but I generally drink an Earl Grey tea every morning. That's like my jam, and maybe a mint tea in the evening.
Oh, I love a good mint tea. Oh,
you know,
we're drinking lemon ginger tea recently.
Ooh, I do have a lemon ginger.
So, quick side note: when we went to Amsterdam and we ordered teas at the very end of our meal, they brought us out mugs. Phil got ginger tea, I got mint, and they literally bring out just hot water with giant pieces of mint. It leaves inside of it. It was so delicious, so good. Do it that way.
Definitely. Like, I mean, I do have like a can of it, but when I can get it fresh, I definitely will make it fresh. Like if I work at a restaurant, I will make myself fresh ginger mint tea, because it's like abundance of supply. Definitely. So I love like hearing Jonathan describe some of the people that go back to compete. So basically, which one? It was another like headbanger. What kind of headbanger was this particular one?
For
all kind of headbangers for the reward so far.
It wasn't the Sumo at sea one yet, was it? Or was it? No, that was afterwards, because that was when,
I think that they were up on the floating like stage, kind of the floating arena, and they had to push each other off. I think it was that one.
No, that's the next episode.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, I'll read what I wrote down. King Kong versus Godzilla. Battle of the Big Boys. Croc versus Mark. Mark wins. He gets a point for blue. Then we had Sam versus Shay. And I was surprised that Sam won because she is smaller. But if I'm not mistaken, Sam does win on that one, right? Sam runs along the outside and wins. And then Jordan wins for red. Mm-hmm. And then we see Sandra go against Nina. Now, do you think that everybody has a matchup and then they're only showing us a few? Or why does Sandra and Nina keep on going up against each other?
I wonder about that, because I feel like everybody probably is getting their shot, but it's more like they're just picking and choosing of what it is, and then, saying over top of the story that, oh, it was 3-4 or 3-1 or something like that. So I think they're all getting it. I feel like it's always seems like it's Nina who's volunteering, and then it's either Sandra who steps up. And maybe that's part of the deal. Maybe that was part of the deal about being there, is whenever it's her, it's got to be you, sort of thing. But I hate that. I hate that for both of them.
Do we think that Sandra's letting Nina win when she goes up against her? I do think that. I'm kind of by the thought of she doesn't want anybody else to hurt her daughter, so she'll go up against her so that she
Yeah.
won't get hurt, and like she's protecting. What does he say? Is Mama Bear going to give it up to her cub? So silly stuff.
Oh, this is okay. Hold on, I figured out what the challenge was. Thank gosh somebody updated Wikipedia. It was the trench, and they're facing off the trench, and they got to race down the hill, go to the other side, and ring the bell. So that was the challenge, and
really?
you could wrestle in the mud. Yes. So your challenge is you had to get to the other side.
Outside. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
Sam and Shay went around the outside to get on there. Yes.
I remember now, but I could also picture that with them being on that floating arena as well. But no, you're right. It was the trench thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do wish, like, I'm not a person that enjoys these headbangers. They like, it makes me really like on edge that someone's going to get hurt. So I'm happy when it's the immunity where it's at least a puzzle and working together.
I wouldn't be volunteering to jump at the chance to do one of these ones because I'm not one who likes to get hurt. And so if somebody else wants to, sure, the big boys want to go do that, that's fine. I'm a fragile little flower. So I mean, I can do the puzzles or I can run up a ramp, but don't ask me to like wrestle somebody, especially in mud or water where I could potentially go underwater. I can swim and I like going underwater, but I hate being held underwater.
Oh my God, no, I would not like that.
So if somebody was like, "Okay, Ron, like you go, you're 6 feet, and you're 200 pounds," I'm like, "Yeah, that's great. Congratulations for identifying my statistics. But hey, how about you go out there and you do this?"
And I'll applaud from the sidelines.
I will cheer you on. Go Bengals.
Hi, Brady. Thank you for being here. So Tashmong says, I feel like Sandra is trying to seem weaker than she is socially. Yes. Yeah, I think that it could be that she's doing what she can, seeing how much she can act a certain way with her tribe, what's working, what's not. I think that she is testing the waters very much so here.
Yeah. What I'm liking is that Sandra is actually participating in the challenges. So she's not on the sit-out bench. She hasn't been on the sit-out bench except for one challenge, I think, so far. So it's been really good to see. She's at least putting herself forward and out there. She's debunking a lot of the myths that we had around Sandra as a physical player. I mean, in terms of actually wanting to be in the challenges. Is she delivering really well in the challenges? Not necessarily. But she is 19 years older than when she first started swimming in the Panamanian waters. And she seems to do okay.
Look at you just like season dropping all the time.
What I
Sliding
do.
in there. Sliding in your knowledge there. Oh, enjoy your tea, Dolores. What kind of tea are you having? Orange Pico. Is my question. Dolores also wonders if Sam and Sandra will talk and will she tell her, but she won't believe him, or will he tell her? He as in David, I guess.
I would think so.
I don't know if anybody knows yet that it was Sam that was the boat. So she's going to take that to the grave.
And it seems more from our end, we're to keep believing that Sandra still thinks that this is the way it's going, because it does come up as like she has zero idea. So Sam keeping her lips shut, perfect. Let Dave take the fall for this one.
Absolutely. Dolores enjoys your idea of having fresh mint leaves in your tea to make tea. So these type of head-to-head challenges usually have unaired rounds. For example, in War of the Worlds, Sophie and Sandra versus Michelle and Danny was promoted but unaired. No, exactly. So I was wondering if there's more matchups, and that's the only ones that we're seeing. So yeah, I agree that it's more likely that everybody has a shot to go, but they're only showing the most influential rounds.
So if it was Phil and I up against each other, Phil would win because he could just push me over, because he does that for most things.
Get out of here. I'm the star.
I'm gonna run.
So Nina does end up defeating Sandra, and then it's 2-2, blue versus red. Then I guess this is the last matchup. So it's Con versus Jesse. Jesse's the blondie?
Yes, the Blue Lagoon guy.
Yeah, okay, yes. I know what that means. That's a reference I know. I'm old. Brooke Shields has been all over the place recently. So Red ends up winning, so like usual. So I guess like Red is a stronger, brawny kind of tribe, and Blue might be a little bit more strategic because Blue seems to win more immunities, and Red seems to win more rewards. Seems so, anyways, for the most part, so far this season. So with this reward, though, one person from Blue can join, and they chose Shay. Why Shay?
Because she's cute. I don't know.
Cute, but she's taken.
I don't know. It's such a weird predicament to be put in because you don't want to probably be the one who jumps at going, oh please, like I need time with my family member. It's like, yeah, we all need time with our family.
But it's like, yeah, so I would not want my family member to come.
No, and I think Sam even says she's glad it wasn't Mark. She didn't need to be reunited with him at that time. So maybe Shay felt like the least threatening option because it seems like Ben's in a good position on that tribe that let them spend a little time together.
Sherry Lynn, so as you much don't want to be held underwater, she doesn't want to be held underwater either, and doesn't want a wedgie when my opponent pulls my shorts up to my chin. Yeah, I wouldn't like that.
So Sherry Lynn and I will just be running by each other, high-fiving, and seeing who gets there first. That's what's going to happen.
I also feel like Sandra doesn't sit out because she's trying to blend in and not give people a reason to vote her out. Absolutely. She's doing that. Yeah. So winners are grinners. And this was a really sweet moment of Sandra because like we know her as cutthroat and all these confessionals that she's been having. And she's like, Sandra's asking Shay, like, is Nina making good connections? I was like, that's so sweet, Mama Bear.
Yeah.
Like, just I like want to cry right now. So sweet.
I feel like if Sandra was out there by herself and not having to worry about Nina, it would be maybe a little bit of a more aggressive game. But knowing she's playing, what she does is going to affect what other people do, like Nina. It's probably changes it up, and it is really sweet to see her get that because we saw her uncle in season 7 at the reward when he was the first off the walk the plank family reward challenge, and then in season 20 her husband did come out for the reward where Jerry picked her and Parvati to go on a reward. No, I'm dropping again. I'm sorry. We've seen these tender. We've seen some moments where Sandra's had interaction with family, but it's never been as tender as it looks like when she's with Nina. And so I think it's because it's her daughter, it's her baby. She's very much more protective of it. So she wants to make sure that she's doing well. If it was maybe her husband, she might not be as concerned because she's like, he's an adult, he can take care of himself.
Absolutely. And like she also knows how heavily people are coming for her neck. So she's just probably also like, oh, they're probably coming for her too. Hopefully she can handle herself. But she's taught Nina well, and Nina is doing just fine. Hi, Jimmy. So Jimmy says, good day from Sydney, Australia. I can't wait to watch episode 8 tonight. Lucky you. I won't be watching that until Tuesday.
First thing in the morning, Jimmy. I'll be watching that at 8 a.m. tomorrow because I can't wait. I'm addicted.
You're already, then you have like a whole week that you don't get to watch anything. I watch it on Mondays and Tuesdays.
No, girl, you know how much reality TV we both watch. I need to get this one out of the way so that I can focus on the other ones that are taking place. And this one's really good, and it's really good over a cup of Earl Grey Twinings tea. Twinings, yes. A sponsor potentially. This is not an ad.
I would love to have Twinings sponsor. Would love it. Hi, Jimmy. Oh, excited you see it first. I know they're in the future. It's probably like it's like 10 a.m. or 9:30 in the morning, I think, right now, over in the future. Hi, Agent Secret. Sandra. Wait. Oh, okay. I was scared that was like a spoiler. Sandra was robbed of the loved one's visits in Pearl Islands. Everyone fell for Fairplay's grandmother. Yeah. I don't remember that exactly, but obviously I remember Fairplay. Like I didn't even realize that they're on the same season. Like I can't even remember back then. All I got at the moment is Amazing Race, Australian Survivor, officially gave up the CBB. Oh my God, CBB,
No,
guys.
no.
CBB
Jump
made
back
me
on that
cry.
wagon.
No, it's
Yeah.
so, are you up to date with the feeds?
No, Phil will fill me in later.
Once we finish this, I'll tell you what's going on the feeds if you want to know.
Okay, I do.
And like your heart's gonna be broken. So that's all I can
Oh,
say.
I'm so excited. My heart hasn't been broken in a while.
It's gonna be so broken. Or come on with Jojo and myself after the episode, and we can talk about all the live feeds. Woo!
Mm.
Okay, so where are we here? So Sam is talking about how she wouldn't want her to take her partner away from the game. Absolutely not. I would never want a reason for people to get together and conspire around my back where I can't kind of see who's running off and talking. Like, I would never want to be taken away from my tribe unless I'm for sure getting some sort of a reward. And obviously, if you go away from tribe, people think that you might even gain a reward. So it just like, I would just not want it to be me. So I was surprised that her partner allowed it to be Shay. I wonder is because do they know that she has an idol?
I don't know. How would they know? The idol was found in episode 2, just before tribal council when Brianna got voted out. So unless she's talking about it, I don't see why they would think that that would be a necessity. Because the only idol they would know the connection between. Oh, I guess maybe if Khan told Dave and Dave told the rest of the tribe after that reward where they went shopping together.
Yeah, I don't think that would be the case. Or they're
No.
able to maybe have a little like, hey, I have an idol, or like over on the
Yeah.
mat when they're doing one of the challenges. But yeah, I
No.
guess
They
they
don't
haven't had
have
an
that.
opportunity.
They're not twins, so they don't have that secret language.
No.
So maybe the twins, maybe it was telekinesis or telepathic.
Telepathy. Yeah, telekinesis is moving things with your mind.
Mm.
So Sophie wants to blend in. Of course, you're gonna want to blend in. She wants to kind of get in with Benny and Croc and Jordan, and feels that they are an awesome foursome. That's the correct group, right?
Yeah.
And she to Shay on that visit feels good. I don't know. I guess she's okay with Shay. I don't know why I'm writing that down, but it's so long ago. I don't remember.
It just seemed like everybody was good with Shay. Like everybody was checking in on their loved ones, and so I'm sure she was asking about KJ, but maybe they got along well, especially because Sophie is close with Ben.
Do you know what? I'm realizing what's happened now. Like I'm like, oh, this is this episode. It's starting to all come back to me. It's all coming back to me now. So Sandra clocks Sophie as wanting to be in with the alpha male, and we know that is Sandra's position. Sandra wants to be with the alpha males. That's where she hides. Have the alpha male as a shield. They win competitions. They have a power structure in their voting, and Sophie's taking that role. So Sandra's not going to like that. How do you feel about her clocking Miss Sophie?
Fine. I'm fine with it. Sandra can do what she wants. No, what's interesting was the whole thing with Sandra was talking about Sophie not being self-aware, because what Sophie was doing was she was talking really loud about it. And it was probably okay that Sophie was maybe in with the guys, but not necessarily controlling an alliance. That wouldn't have made her as threatening.
Yeah, but she's just out there in the water with them, and Sandra just like, that's my position.
That's what Sandra's doing. She's watching. Where are you going? Who are you going with? How long are you there for? What potential are you saying to them? Why are you over there? She's the queen for a reason. She knows what's going on, and it's some of these rookie mistakes that all of them are making. So.
So Tashimong, I struggle with watching Survivor Australia. It doesn't air in South Africa. The website takes way too long to post the episodes. Well, if you want, in the description there, I do have an affiliate link for a VPN. So the NordVPN is actually really good. You can actually log in from anywhere in the world. I haven't had any trouble so far. And I'm actually able to watch this on 10play. So 10play.com.au, and you can watch it like you can watch it live if you want. It would be at the time would be closer to you than it is for us. The episodes will be up a lot quicker than South Africa. So that's an option for you. And then you'll be able to watch like Canadian Big Brother and all that stuff because you'll have a VPN. So give that a go if you don't want to get spoiled or if you don't have like a link to be able to watch the episodes. Laura says, that seems like a general rule. If everyone is talking and you are not there for whatever reason, yeah, you'll be a subject of conversation. Absolutely. I would not want to be leaving there. Between CBB, Amazing Race, and Survivor, all the recap podcasts and the Olympics, I feel like I'm playing catch up all the time. I don't even know that the Olympics are on right now. But that's how much I'm not watching regular TV. I'm totally with you here. Except the live feed updates take some of my time because sometimes I do updates for Rob as a podcast. And so like I actually have to be on top of it. And so I have to watch them and like not just play catch up. So I hear you. All I have to say is Sophie shaking my head on and off the show. That's something that I did hear about Sophie as well. We'll get to it, but poor Sophie. Sophie's a little bit upset with how her Survivor experience was. So then I wrote down, you're going to laugh about this. Did I draft all the first outs? Because like Sandra has her eyes set on Sophie. I'm like, oh my God, Sophie's going to be scrambling now. Like Sandra usually gets what she wants. Oh man, Sophie's gone. Darn it.
I know.
So we come to the immunity challenge and Sophie does sit out. And what I can't even remember my write down. Move canoe to water, paddle to the puzzle pieces.
Yeah, they have to make they have to lift a gate to retrieve a boat and then use boat paddles to go out to get a set of puzzle pieces. Then they bring it all back and they have to create a word arch.
Oh, so the arch. That was so cool.
Yes. It was a really neat challenge. Yeah.
Physics or whatever to like hold that up because like it has to be perfect in order for it to have that nice arch. And so timing wise and like kind of stacking it and getting it to the middle and then pushing that last one in. I thought that was a really great way to have a puzzle. For the most part, Baloo was in the lead and Baloo does win, which was surprising. Do you have a favorite blue or red?
You know what? I lean towards the blue tribe. I just find their dynamics are really a lot more fun to watch. Just maybe because the big boys don't provide much more than muscles to me. And while it's fun to look at, like I need substance. So I find I get more substance maybe with the blue tribe. So I was happy to see them win, but I love Sandra so much that I can't not root for the red tribe to protect her.
100%. I'm totally with you there. I kind of with the blue, I think like they have Con, they have Chrissy, they even have Mark, they have Nina, and I think those are the four people that are most interesting and dynamic on the blue tribe. And so I do like seeing their dynamic more than Sam being kind of nervous. I do like Sandra taking action, but I get really nervous for her that people are going to turn against her. So I'm more nervous watching red. So I'm kind of like, So I have my alpha pack. And so is that Sandra talking? Probably. So Sandra's still going on about Dave. Do you think that she should drop this Dave, like need to get out Dave thing?
It just seems like he's an obvious choice at this point because there's only 3 people gone. He's the last person who doesn't have a pair, so it wouldn't be separating another group of people. So it's maybe smart to be doing that to protect everybody else and saying like we want maybe that the other tribe make that first move against whoever they want out of the game from our pairs, but we don't want to do that. But I don't know. I just feel like it's such a short-sighted strategy. Like unless she has real validity behind it, it's very short-sighted.
I mean, I guess like making someone be the target, it doesn't allow people the time to think about her being a target. Maybe that's why she's pushing it. But I'm just kind of like, Sandra, you know that you kind of have to let people come up with the plan sometimes, and you have to do your anybody but me, and not Dave or anybody else but me. Like it just, I think she should have maybe let this go. Even though the alpha males do say that Dave's got to go, and they kind of pick up what she's putting down and kind of agree with that. I think that she needs to stop pushing her agenda, because people are then they're like, oh, well, Sandra's getting what she wants, and she's probably doing more. Like, they're going to give her more credit to what she could be doing behind the scenes, and she's building an army, and like, I think that it'll make her seem more dangerous if she's pushing an agenda. So I do wish that she would just lay low a little bit more, but that's not her style, unfortunately. Sam and Sophie, number one, give her a whole heart to heart. What am I talking about?
So before the vote, before any of the other additional strategizing came up about who to get out, Sophie and Sam have a heart to heart and like commit themselves to each other, basically.
Yes. And like, we would think that this is going to be working well, but this is where I started to get nervous for Sandra, because I'm like, well, if they ever find out that Dave didn't do the vote and Sandra gets wind of that, and Sophie is taking her alpha male, like, is it going to start a war with Sam and Sophie against Sandra? Like, that's what I thought was starting to brew, and I was starting to get nervous for Sandra, because two people that may want to get Sandra out, or that Sandra's coming for, so they might want to retaliate, are kind of coming together. So worried. So Sandra thinks that Sophie is the queen. And Sandra is telling, and Sophie's telling Sandra what to do, which I'm like, man, Sophie, I guess she's not a super fan. It was her sister that's a super fan, but Sophie was getting a little bit of power happy.
She's used to being in control. She said this prior, and I feel like that was a tell. Like, she's not going to like sitting and just watching things happen. She's going to want to take action and make things go. So,
like, we hear that Sophie is the boss. I love the relationship that starts to develop, and we're starting to see more of Sandra and Michelle, one of the twins, because she tells the twin Michelle about Sophie, and she tells Amy about Sophie, and how she thinks Sophie is a threat, and that she's gathering these alpha males, and so. But then, how did Sandra want Amy to get blamed for the vote? Why did I write that down?
Well, so Sandra brought it up.
I love that you're interpreting all my notes.
Sandra brought it up to Amy, and just kind of let Amy run with it, because Amy was on board with voting out Sophie. So she was fine with doing that. Yeah. Yes. So blaming it all on Amy, and so
it's
if it got back, it was her idea. Target Amy. That works for Sandra.
Of course. It's perfect, actually. Like, you definitely want someone to take the heat for orchestrating a vote out. So Amy does tell Jay, she does kind of run with this plan. He's on board. Also tells Sam and Jesse. And Sandra in her confessional. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to go through all these episodes, and I'm going to take out all the Sandra sound bites and little video clip bits and make like clips, because she says, I've been waiting to lead an assault. I'm just like, you're just so badass, Sandra. She's waiting to lead an assault.
Nobody is safe with Sandra.
Nobody is safe with Sandra. So is he in danger again tonight? I guess I'm asking that about Dave. Because he blindsided himself, and he also saved himself. So does Dave, like, we didn't really even get much from Dave here. Nobody really talks to him about plans. So does he know what's going on?
I'm trying to remember one thing about this. I think it might be.
Well, they talk about what's the vote, and everybody's like, unity. What's the vote for you? Unity.
Well, there's a moment where they were asking if Dave has anything he wants to get off his chest. Like if you got something to say it now. Like don't go to tribal and blow up your own game again. Like they're kind of giving Dave this opportunity. And I think maybe he thinks he's probably in on the plan because Amy went to him and Jay. But who knows? He might be taking the approach of Sandra in seasons past, anyone but me. So I'll vote Sophie if that's the way it's got to go.
So did you write down the vote breakdown? Sandra, though, I was so nervous for her because she wrote down adios, or she said adios, mate. I was like, oh. But I know that Dave got 4 votes, if I'm not mistaken. Then it was Sophie got 4 votes, and then Sophie. So did you know who were the Dave votes?
Yeah, the Dave votes were the big guys and Sophie. So Ben, Croc, and Jordan, plus Sophie, all voted for David because they were convinced that it was going to be David going.
And everybody else voted for Sophie. So Sophie's shocked. Yeah. We now know that she definitely was turned, even though she just had this heart-to-heart with Sophie, and they thought that they were in a good place together. What do you think about that move for Sam?
I think she's probably trying to think long term, like what's going to be better for me. And I think if she's getting further with the big guys and Sophie and doesn't have as much sway or power, she probably isn't going to want to be too closely aligned with that group in terms of what Mark's preservation could be as well. Because Mark's a big guy. These are other big guys. They're all going to be going after each other, but if they're all together and they go after Mark, she loses him. So maybe there's an alternative there. Maybe there was something from Shay that tipped her scales a bit to want to go over whichever way she thought maybe Mark was leaning.
Okay, that's interesting as well. So we do get a twist here at Tribal. Australian Survivor definitely tends to be quite twisty and seemingly unfair with the twists. Why do you think that Sophie, instead of being this is correct, right? She went over to the other tribe?
Yeah.
She moves over, she's going to be going over to the blue tribe now. So why do you think that this was the twist here? What happened to the other people, the other three people, whatever, that played beforehand that just had to go home? Like, why does Sophie get a second shot?
I have no clue. I'm going to hope that it was pre-planned that this twist would happen, and regardless of who it was, would switch things up. And I think maybe production was looking for that opportunity to move people around. I believe it was last season that similarly it happened. It wasn't as early. It was just a few days after, but I know Cara she got switched over in a similar way. So they were probably doing that so that they could get that blood versus water dynamic going. But had it been David, it wouldn't have mattered. Like they still would have just had a rando that's going to the other tribe. But he could still do damage because he's a scorned tribe member.
And he could be a vote easily. And so whoever collects him would be powerful. But Sophie doesn't really see it this way. She's out for revenge. She's angry. The loved ones better be worried. She's hurt by Sam. Yeah. All valid and fair to feel, but not in a game for, I don't know how much they're playing, $500,000. But like, you got to suck it up and realize that you just got a second chance at the game. Like, you were voted out and now you have an opportunity to go with your loved one who is a super fan and figure out a way for you guys to win. Instead, you're playing revenge. I'm like, it doesn't compute for me as to the direction that she's taking. Yeah. And Agent Secret says it definitely didn't help Sophie's case by blaming her elimination on production and blocking Sam. Well, so apparently she's like super mad at production. She's going around. She's like making posts talking about how like terrible production is. And I'm like, you literally got a second chance at the game that many other people did not get, and you're mad at production. Yeah. Like, The players should be mad at production. If anybody goes out before you go back out again, should be mad at
Yeah.
production because that's
Yep.
completely unfair. So
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Sophie's reaction in the game and outside of the game at this point
Yeah.
at all. Yes, I agree. It's seemingly that she's too emotional and she doesn't realize that
Yep.
people are just playing a game. And I know it hurts. Like, it sucks to get voted out. Like, I would never want that feeling for myself. And I can understand being mad, but I'm also a big gamer that I would have to turn that anger into like calculated,
Sure.
maybe
Yeah.
retaliation, but it would only with me being on
Yeah.
top and winning the game. That's
I
the
mean,
best way to retaliate.
it's all perspective. It's what do you want to make out of this? Like what do you want your lemons to be? Do you want your lemons to be a really good, like, sellable lemonade, or do you want them to be rotten in a bag and you have to throw them out? And she's taking the rotten route. Like, it doesn't, and the mold is just going to affect other people. Like,
Mhm.
she's choosing to make that route harder for herself
Mhm.
when it could be a completely new game. And you have to think of it that way. If you don't, your mind isn't there for the right reasons. So
Like,
she went
if
the bitter route.
if I was playing this game and I got a chance to be with my loved ones, I would like quickly go and like do a little like scurry and scramble. Like, what should we do? How
Mhm,
should we plan this? Let's stay completely separate. Like, da 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 da. Who do I need to get in with? Who do I need to be friends with? Let's make a fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would just be using that as an opportunity to get us both better positioned in the game. Like, it's
yep,
a huge benefit to have your loved one over there. It's someone that you can trust, who you can conspire with without
mhm,
having any sort of like question of their loyalty or whether or not they're being truthful. And
mhm,
so the fact that she chose the time to be bitter it just shows that she's a terrible game player.
yeah,
So it's Sandra. I felt like it was like a stab to the gut when Sophie stayed. Like, yeah, that sucks. Like, you just you led an assault and
yep,
the person didn't go home. So that's not great for her. But Sam is also glad to have a one up on the big boys. So Ben, Croc, and Jordan kind of lost their direction, lost their leader. And
mhm,
so she feels good that these guys kind of were on the bottom in the sense that like they didn't vote with the numbers,
yeah.
which is good. So what was this reward challenge that we had now? Is
Well,
this the
this is,
floating one?
yes, popularly known as Sumo at Sea. It is the face off with the bags, and you're trying to knock the other opponent off the pedestal. And I will say that of all the ones of these face off ones, this is actually one that I would love to do. And I think it's just
Because
because it's an
it's classic.
opportunity to get, yeah, it's your anchor. Get your anchor out on this. Like, it is like pushing. Now, the good part is you can't take your hand off the bag and physically touch the other person, and I like that. You have to use the bag. So it's almost like it's like an adult pillow fight. Well, that doesn't sound right either, but it is a pillow fight in some ways, and it's kind of fun. And I think that would be a fun activity to do.
I mean, I would like that more than some of the other ones, but I
Yeah,
still am not that big of a fan of being like shoved with all my might
no.
into the water. Not my jam. So this is an idea. So it would be cool if everyone entered the game with a loved one, but no one knew your loved ones, kind of like BB6's
Hmm.
secret duo twist. I would enjoy this, but it seems like definitely us in Australia that Jonathan loves spilling the beans. So I just don't
Hmm.
think that he would be able to keep that a secret. He would just be like leaving breadcrumbs all over the place, and people be like, okay, well, if I have a partner here, I bet you everybody else has a partner here. Like, I think it would be too
You
obvious.
you would think you would kind of go, okay, we can't be the only ones here that are like this. There's got to be other people, and so
Hmm.
I think people would just assume that it's not a secret.
Yeah. And Jonathan would spill the beans too.
No,
I
no.
So they're gonna be playing for cheese and crackers and meats.
Mm.
That's also quite civilized. A little charcuterie
Yeah,
board. Delish. Alex, what the frick did he do to his back? Because he is sitting out again. Um,
no clue. This
oh
poor
man.
kid, he just wanted to come and be Nick or Harry, and instead he's Alex.
Like, and he's a super fan. That's the worst. Like,
Yeah,
what
it
a
sucks.
disappointment. A, for him, like, to hurt his back as a super fan, he can't get to play. But like,
Mhm.
also, like, I don't want to watch somebody sit out on a bench. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense for him to at least sit up for the rewards so that back-to-back challenges, he can play for immunity. And so hopefully his back will heal enough for him to be able to participate. So first matchup is Mark versus Jesse. And I was shocked when Mark was like holding down Jesse and asking
I
him,
know.
what's
Yes.
Sophie like? And the response is a snake.
Yes. Perfect. Great time to strategize too.
It's good.
But
It's
but
good.
wouldn't you be standing at your podium and wondering, okay, you've got this triathlete who sure it's like wiry and something, but you're against King Kong pretty much, and it's just like just let him knock you in the water because that's what's gonna happen. And he's just standing there and he's pushing him down, and then they're whispering like chatty little schoolgirls, like, "Who do you think's cute on my tribe?" Like, it just to me, I would be suspicious. And I wouldn't want Mark to get in that position where he
It's true.
looks suspicious because he's doing a good job.
Well,
So,
that's the first time he looks suspicious in this grouping of
mhm.
episodes. There's another time where he looks very suspicious. I don't know if it was now or next
Very.
episode, but it's like, Mark, maybe it's this time. So a snake is what he says that Sophie is. And Mark does end up, of course, winning that round.
Yeah.
Next up is Sam versus Sophie. Sam won that, huh? Yeah, she did, which is
Sam did
surprising
win,
because
yes.
Sam is much smaller, but she's definitely she's feisty and she's very fit. Like, she definitely has
Yeah.
stamina. So she was able to figure out how to beat Sophie. And then next up was Jordan versus Josh. And Jordan, I think Jordan's my cutie, right? Is Jordan my cutie with the
Yes.
hipster mustache? Yeah.
The power bottom
That's the
briefs
powder
that he
one.
wears.
Okay.
Yes, yes. My favorite line from this matchup was Jonathan saying, "It's like pillow fights at bedtime." And I'm like, really? For these two, you're gonna make the pillow fight reference? Like, it was just so cute. It
It's
was
for
so cute.
you. For you. So Jordan does win that one. And then we get Ben versus Jordy. Jordy wins. So I guess it's first to 5 here. And then of course we get the Sandra versus Nina matchup. So we know that Red's not going to win there. So Nina does win, and Blue ends up winning this rewards. But I did think that Sandra was funny when she was like being matched up, be like, "Oh, I'm not buying her shit for Christmas, and I'm not paying for her wedding."
Yeah.
Like, yes, you are, and you're not going to hurt your daughter. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
okay, Sandra. So Blue, though, does get to enjoy this reward at Red's camp. So have we seen this before where the reward is kind of like a merge reward where only one side eats?
Um, Outside of the merge, no, I don't believe so. I mean, there might have been one. They might have done this in another Australian season, but I can't recall off the top of my head. But I love that it was this, but I felt it was also too soon after just sending Shay to
Right?
visit the camp
Well,
to have that visit.
but I think it's now because Sophie's over there that they wanted to bring some drama maybe and
Yeah.
find out like whether people like
Yeah.
Sophie or not. They didn't expect the
Mhm.
Whisper 2000 to happen with Mark, so like they
Yeah.
maybe wanted that opportunity to out her. Not sure. But all the couples are kissing and eating the food, and like, it's just such like a love fest.
I miss you so much. I just saw you 5 minutes ago at the challenge.
Oh, this is Sophie was so confident going against Sam. It reminded me of Tori versus Cam. Oh, you don't watch the challenge, but yeah, it did. I just did a debate where we had to debate some of these things, and I was debating that Tori shouldn't be the face of the challenge, and so this kind of came up a little bit that she thought that she was going to be beating Sam, and she didn't got the goods.
No.
Or sorry, Cam.
Mhm.
So the feast gave me tribal council feast flashbacks from Heroes versus Villains.
Heroes versus Villains.
Yeah, they do a lot of these kind of like, it's, I don't know when it first happened, but when the winning tribe gets to eat, they're both going to go to tribal, but the winning tribe gets to eat and then watch the previous tribal council, and then they have their tribal after, or they just get to watch. Like they have been doing that for a while now, but I don't know if I've seen it for reward.
I think the first one was season 10, where the two tribes were going to tribal council and they were playing for reward, and Koror beat Oolong as they did, and they voted out Willard, and then they sat on the other side and ate like beef stew or lamb shanks or something like that. They've done it a few times, and it's fun because you do get that information, but they always, in the US one, focus on, you get to eat food in front of the people and make them mad at you. Like they really focus on that sort of thing, where this is, yeah, you're going to be over there eating your food, but it's cheese and crackers. Like I'm sure we're hungry for cheese and crackers by this time, but it's not something that's going to like make me hate my loved one for winning that reward.
No, not yet. It's only what, day 9 now? No. Pazanka.
Yeah.
Sophie is petty as hell. She's like, don't hug me, Sam. Yeah, she must be a Cancer. I'm just saying that because you're a Cancer.
Yeah, she might be. This is so something that I would do too. I would be like, don't hug me. But then she's chasing Sam around the camp, like wants to talk to her and confront her on her terms, but then she doesn't want to like engage. And it goes back to, your girl, you were playing a game where you've got to be social and get people to like you. You need this relationship at some point. So stop it. Like, calm the F down.
Like, we're not in the same tribe anymore. So at this point, just pivot. You're in a game, a social game. Pivot. Yes, thank you for watching. We're going to be doing a third round probably on my channel coming up in the next couple weeks, so hopefully you will tune into that as well. And if you have any ideas of like what you'd want to see us defend on popular opinions, let me know somewhere in the chat. Birthday September 11. Oh, that means that she is a Virgo. Interesting. So Virgos tend to be very particular. They are very organized. They never late. They like things going a certain way. So I can see a Virgo being petty in its fall. In its like the downsides of Virgo could be petty. So I could see that. I don't get along with Virgos because they can be petty. Some Virgos anyways. So I feel like that maybe the twist may have pissed Sophie, and that's why she's attacking production. It gave the red group the opportunity to persuade their loved ones to maybe vote Sophie out. Take it as an opportunity. These games, there's a lot of luck involved. You could have been out of the game completely for good and never have an opportunity to come back. So think of it as you being even more lucky than other people that were voted out, Sophie. And even her sister, KJ.
So I was going to say, even in this whole situation of maybe she's pissed about the twist, it's on her to decide how she's going to handle it. And if you're going to be like, okay, well, they're here, I can play nice, or I can go on the attack, you're giving that impression to now all, 19, however many people, 21 people that are around you. And it's like, don't fall for it. Like, don't give in to that sort of thing. Like, but I'm sure so many factors were playing into how she was feeling. So she didn't get she got cheese and crackers. She should have been happy.
Right? And she has to be with her loved one, and get to strategize. But KJ can see that Sophie is hurt, but is annoyed by her own sister. Why hasn't KJ called her over and been like, hey, you're on my tribe right now. You got to listen to me and do as I say. I don't care what happened. You are here now. This is what's going on in the game. And you're not going to blow up my game because you screwed up yours and got kicked off. I'd be like, I don't
think KJ is that person at all. I think KJ how she's been presenting herself as very kind of mousy and quiet is potentially the type of person that she is. And she probably doesn't want to ruffle too many feathers to piss off Sophie, but also make her tribe look like a different person than maybe what she's been presenting up until that point. So I don't know if Sophie would have the want to do that. Like if it was me, I would want to think that I would be a little more forceful with my siblings if I was doing this, but I would also be like,
I mean,
you're an adult, you can handle yourself. Like
I'm
maybe
a
I'd give you a
bossy
little bit
air
of guidance,
sign.
but
If my brother came over and thought he was gonna screw up my game, I would be like, I'm gonna tell them to vote you out unless you listen to what I say.
yeah.
Like there's no way I would let them blow up my game. Agent Secret, can you see what the birthday of KJ as well? I'm just curious as their sibling dynamic astrologically. So Sophie confronts Sam, as you mentioned. Sam thinks that Sophie is just all drama, which she is, and you never really want people to think that you're all drama because that means they don't want to work with you. At one point, she even corners Jordan, and Jordan just like not say anything, like being like I didn't know about it, and he's like, well, you're not talking to me, and he's like I don't know, like if I should talk to you, like I was on the outside of a vote, like. Why can't she see that?
She's so wrapped up in just the steps that it took to get there that it was not at all. It's not at all what she was planning herself. So the fact that the plans didn't go her way, that's what she's more focused on. And going after the people that you were aligned with, she's now asking them, well, how do you think I feel? And it's like, yeah, you're mad. I get it. But like I can't do anything. You're not on the tribe anymore. I did
We
not vote
didn't
you
know
out.
about it.
Take that and do what you want with it. If you choose to go with it and think like I'm not with you, that's on you. But I did not turn on you. So
Interestingly enough, KJ is the Cancer. So that I could see her potentially being the crab, retreating, not wanting to have any sort of confrontation, and with having Sophie be a little bit more of the alpha in that dynamic. So yeah, I can definitely see that relationship working well because air and water do work well together elementally, but I can see Sophie's personality overtaking the crab, so okay, so she's going to be a little bit of a meek Cancer.
yeah.
So we get to the immunity challenge. Wait, what do I write here? Sophie pretends she enjoyed seeing her old tribe. So
Yeah.
I guess again she wasn't being convincing, right? Is that what I was writing down? Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
So each team is going to be holding their weight. Oh, so we've seen this challenge quite often where in different capacities where you have to hold weight. Sometimes you see it, they have to pass the weight on to the person beside them and hold it up. It seems as though it's decently evenly matched, but in the beginning, we see like red is just dropping, and blue has all their players still going, including Alex, broke back Alex, and red was just being decimated. What were you thinking while this challenge was going on?
Oh, so because of how the episode was going, I knew there was going to be some sort of hero moment. And it was either going to be somebody from the red tribe or it was going to be Alex because he can't sit out. And so I thought, if Alex pulls this out and can beat everybody else, being kind of the smaller guy, that'd be a really cool story to have. But I just felt right away like, okay, because it went Jordan, Amy, Michelle, Croc, Sandra, Jay, before somebody from the other tribe started dropping. You're like, the red tribe screwed, but they held out, they kept going, and it worked out in their favor. But it was a very tough moment for them all to get through it. I wasn't shocked that it was maybe. I was maybe a little more shocked that it was Ben that was the one that carried it through. But that was great.
So they made them all switch to one hand, and at the one hands, like just to make it go a little bit faster, it's all on Ben. His one hand holding up what his whole tribe couldn't hold up their
Mm-hmm.
part of this weight distribution. Against it was three of them at one point. So it was definitely Alex, it was Sophie, and there was somebody else that was on that tribe.
Con.
Con,
Yep.
Con and Sophie out. Alex, and he's out as well. And shockingly, Ben holds on long enough to win it for red. I was shocked because if everybody else is dropping out, how is he able to hold that whole thing on his own? I don't understand.
I'm not a physics major, nor do I work out, so I can't really speak to that.
Well, how are you withholding groceries? How many bags of groceries can you carry?
I usually can carry maybe 3 or 4 bags on each arm if I have to, and I fill them pretty heavy. So I'm good with the holding of the weight thing. I'm stronger than I think I am, but to do that, I unfortunately probably would be somebody who maybe there was a chain link effect and it was like out, 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 out. I'd be in that chain link effect of it just dropping out of my hand.
So there's no way he was holding all the weight of the tribe. Science-wise, the way the weight was holding evenly across the platform didn't make sense. I mean, I was just taking it for what it was. I didn't really look deeper into how it was working. I didn't understand the physics behind it. I'd have to go back and look because I didn't see if there was a pulley. I didn't see how it was distributed. I didn't see whether or not each person was just holding their own thing, and it wasn't like as you left, then more weights onto the other person. Like maybe it was just their own.
Well, yeah, that's all connected. So it was all connected by rope, and so all the wooden blocks it looked like the same weight, and they you held on to it, and as soon as you held on to it, the rope, you were holding on to pretty much whoever was off on either side of you, I would assume. So probably Ben at the very end, he wasn't maybe necessarily having to hold up the entire thing, because if it's 9 people on each side or 10 people, if Ben's on one end, whatever's on the other end probably fell back into whatever swinging position it originally was in. So Ben might have been actually just holding 2 or 3 additional weights than his own.
He didn't hold the whole weight, but it added some weight to his. Okay. I gotcha. I agree with you, Sherilyn. I get hyperhidrosis, especially in heat like that, and so my hands would have been sweating like crazy. The problem with me in endurance challenges is that I will drop when I get bored, not when my body is aching.
Yep, that's me.
There's something that I like about seeing how far I can push myself in those type of things. Not like running a marathon, but like definitely I like winning something where it's mind over matter. So I would try to make it happen.
So there's
Hold on, I can't hear you. You got to go closer to the mic.
There's an archway here, and my arm's length is just the width. So I've tried to hold a piece of paper or something to see how long it was, and I can go a little bit, but I'm like Agent Secret. I got bored. I'm going to drop out because I think I'd rather just watch everyone else do it. And I always thought endurance challenges would be the better ones for me. I never thought it would be puzzle, but I was like, I can't do the endurance ones because I get bored. I have to move. I have to get up and I have to walk. Sitting here for this long is long for me.
Sorry. It's only an hour 13. We're doing well so far. Bottom line is I would never win a modern day US Survivor or individual immunity challenge. I think those are, I would, some of them I would. If it was like balancing and standing on something, I don't know about arms over the head or arms out because that burn, I don't know if I can get through that first round of burn. And then when your arm goes numb, I don't know how good I would be at that. But if it's like a standing on something for a long period of time, I think I could do that for
in the very first season of Survivor at the final 6, when they're just standing on beams out in the water, That would probably be the best endurance challenge for me, or the one in Australia season 2 when they're just standing on a pole. I would maybe do that because I could probably just look around if you're getting to interact with each other. But if you have to be doing something else and you can't like interact with people, I wouldn't be able to stand there as long. It's like Christian trying to manipulate Alec to fall off when he's doing this and David's versus Goliath. And he was talking for something like 2 hours. And it made it seem like Alec dropped because he was getting annoyed with Christian. But it was like, I'm sure the physical part of it, like the burn in the shoulders, was the most likely thing to knock him out.
Tishmong says, I would probably talk a lot in challenges like that because I get bored easily and can't stand one place for a long time. So similar to what you were describing in David versus Goliath. So I've played a lot of orgs, and one org that I've played, they have some endurance challenges and lasted pretty long, like definitely like 30 hours kind of mark, 25, 30 hours.
What is wrong with you?
So this particular one, we had to, on every hour, we had to like type in clock or work or whatever. There's different things we had to do on the different hour. And then we got to a point where I had to do it like on every 10 minutes. And so I definitely like chose to lose at one point, and we kind of gave it to somebody. But I definitely last over 25 hours doing that. I set my alarm clock, and I would wake up. I set my alarm clock for a minute before and a minute after the times that I had to get up. And so that my alarm clock would go off, I'd wake up, I'd type in what I had to type in, and then I'd go back to sleep for like 10 minutes. And like I did that for all night long.
Good for you. Congratulations. That's something for the audition reel.
I'm here for it. I mean, I like winning stuff, right? And poor Sherilyn gets tired carrying her cat. So that one challenge where they had to hold sandbags above their head with the team members would be my worst nightmare. Yeah, I wouldn't like that. It's that burn, and I don't like arms, shoulder. Like I don't have strong upper body strength. So I could do the pressure cooker though from Big Brother, because that's just holding your arm out, and then you could switch arms, kinda. So I think I could do that one.
Yeah,
I think. So we see Alex physio from Michelle. And I'm just wondering why he hasn't actually got any like a medical to come in to check him out. Is it just pain? Like, can he not take anything for the pain? Why can't he fix this? Or why isn't he being medically DQ'd?
He got checked out, I think, after the first challenge, the very first one, and looks like he got the okay to go back to his tribe. But maybe it's just because it's as infrequent, and with having a chiropractor like Mel on their tribe, it's probably okay for her to be looking after him versus bringing in medics all the time. It sounds to me like maybe what he was going through, if he called medics, they would have pulled him out of the game. And I don't think that was the route that he wanted to take. And we see that at tribal council.
Yeah. So Ancient Secrets, I'd be like, give me my Netflix pass and flat screen, and I'm out. And I'm out.
Give me my martini set, right?
Yes.
Ancient Secret. Does Bo want to have some drinks with Janelle in there? I just watched that.
Not that season.
That's season 6.
No. I mean, they're not friends until after that season. Like,
that's
you have
true.
Polyester hair. You have stupid guys with money. Like,
Bogus older men. Who hasn't, Janelle? Let's comment.
And now they're like best friends. I've definitely watched a few of like Janelle and Bo take over New York, and they just got wasted around New York City. It's kind of fun. So KJ is trying to come off. Well, she is coming across as a very easygoing, and I wrote down Khan's idol. So is KJ thinking that Khan's idol should be flushed? Yep, that's what happened there.
Yeah.
Which it should be, and I'm surprised that Khan isn't more scared. I'd be terrified if I had an idol.
Yeah, he's at the camp and he's making food and he's around the fire and everybody else is in the water. And you don't want to be the person who's left behind. So why wouldn't you ditch the food and go in the water and try to
Sorry, what?
strategize?
Sorry, sorry. What'd you say? What are we doing? What's the plan tonight? And I was definitely irritated with Shay being like, "Well, I'm playing my idol tonight." Like nobody even remembered that she has an idol. Like I don't know why she is like, oh, okay, so then we'll split the votes and put the votes on Shay. Like what? Like Shay, you weren't even part of the equation here. Why? Why did you
I'm
let that up?
sure I'm sure it's come up. If she's bringing it up, I'm sure it's come up that the idol that they both have it. And
Mhm.
but Shay's obviously not as big of a threat as Khan is because Khan is making all these moves while Shay was buddy buddy with the person who everybody wanted to get out in the second vote. So she probably can squeak by a little bit. And it seems like she's building more trusts with people, which is really nice. I was really happy to see that, but it's not as important for her to bring this up. And she shouldn't be. She should be leaving it alone.
Agent, we do, but I also don't want to see Cappy. I don't want to see Yvette. I don't want to see
No,
April. I don't want to
no,
see
mm-mm,
Maggie. I don't want to see Jennifer.
no,
And
no.
so
I could talk about that season all day. I do not know how many times I've rewatched season 6 of Big
I've
Brother
seen it
because
the most.
it is a nightmare of a season, but it is so good to watch. But I would
Whenever I
not
want
want
to
to
get
see.
someone into Big Brother, I make them
Yeah,
watch season 6. I think that that is a
exactly.
perfect
Yes.
season for what
Yeah.
I love and hate about Big Brother. I think it's very good
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
And then season 7, I like right after that. It was very
Mhm.
with Dr. Will. So I would like to see half of that cast back, but the other half, like, never was a fan.
Pass.
Yeah, PS. So KJ basically and Sophie are going to want to flush out Khan's idol here. So they're gathering 5 people to put votes on Khan. If he plays the idol, they're going to split the votes between Shay. So Shay have 3 people and Sophie have 3 votes on them. So that Sophie will go out if both Shay and Khan play an idol. So this is a pretty solid plan. But if I
Mhm.
was Khan with an idol, I'd be like kind of wary of this being a plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
So Khan is noticing the extra chats, but he doesn't seem to be doing anything about it. He's still kind of going along on his way. And so he pulls Shay for a chat, and she does a pretty good job with calming him down with like, because she knows that the vote's supposed to be him. So I was pretty impressed by her being able to hold her tongue there. And I probably wouldn't play my idol if I knew that this was the way that things were going, but she might still do it just because she'll get a little squirrely. So
Mhm.
we're at Tribal and they talk to Shay and they talk to KJ. KJ mentioning that people are going to want to split them up. Of course, they're going to want to split you guys up. Like you have an extra
Yeah.
advantage that nobody else has right now in the game. So, and who is she? We don't know her. So, yes, I would probably want to take out Sophie.
Mhm.
Um, Khan is wearing his pink jumper. Was this his
So
lucky
cute.
jumper? I can't remember why. I like that.
He brought it because he wanted to leave tribal council in something really cute. And so he was wearing it because he's obviously nervous. And I was like, we haven't seen it yet because it's obviously buried at the bottom of that bag, just waiting to be pulled out for the right moment. It's like Jordan in season 13 saying she has an eviction dress. She wants to be evicted in this pretty dress she brought, which wasn't that great. But, good on Khan for wanting to make a fashion statement.
It was a cute jumper, not gonna lie.
Mhm.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for being here. Everybody go and follow Chris. Subscribe to the Nullified Take. He is a new YouTuber, but also a co-host of mine where we talk about the challenge. And he was also part of that debate that I had mentioned earlier before. So Chris says this is the biggest reason why you don't want others to know you have an idol. It makes you paranoid. Khan is overconfident at the moment. I know, and it's stressing me out. He's not on my draft team, but I like him a lot, and I don't want
Mhm.
him to go out with an idol in his pocket. That's just like my nightmare for anybody playing this game. So Shay is also worried about having an idol, and because of the idol, like what things are going to be happening. And then I wrote in big block letters, Alex quit. What?
Yep.
What?
Well,
what a waste
when
of like, I was so excited that like, okay, so is Khan going to be right? Is Khan going to be wrong? Is he going to play it? Is he not going to play it? Like, how is this going to shape out? I was so invested in like who was going to get their way this round that when he quit, I was just like, oh.
But I mean,
He
again,
wanted to
going
be
back
voted
to
out. Sorry, he wanted to be voted out, which I hate even more.
Yeah, I think he just wanted the honorable route to go.
No, it's
You
not
know,
honorable.
I don't want to be seen as a quitter, but I
You
need to
are.
go. And he brought that up. And I mean, I too was excited about this little showdown.
I said we were denied a blindside.
But you know what? And then going back to the beginning of the episode, the first thing I have written is in the recap, they're bringing up Alex's back injury. And then when they're going previously on Australian Survivor, Alex hurt his back in the outback or something like that. Terrible Canadian
You're gonna
Australian.
work on that. You're gonna work on that.
Yeah, I'll try with my Flint. I'll make sure to get on that right away. But they brought up Alex's back injury a few times, and I don't really feel like it was too much out of nowhere. It was coming. Like, but it was how is it going to be managed? Is it going to be medevac? Oops. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Sorry, my headphones just died. How is it going to be managed? Was he going to be taken out medevac, or was he going to be saying, you guys got to vote me out because he was injured? Maybe he thought the tribe would just take him out because he was walking around injured. But because he performed so well in that challenge, that probably changed a lot of people's minds. If he was really not doing well, he should have just dropped out first and been like, guys, I just can't do this anymore. But
everyone's begging him to stay. They're just like, stay, sleep on it, see how you feel tomorrow. Like, see how you feel tomorrow. I mean, I've never been in so much pain that I would be wanting to quit something like this. So I don't understand where he's coming from. But like, if it's my dream to be on something, I would have stayed no matter what. I'd be like, can you get me some drugs? Is that possible to help this pain? Like, am I able to take something while I'm playing this game? I want to be here. I want to be here.
For
so
sure.
frustrating. So Chris says, I was impressed by the power Mark had at this tribal council. Everyone looked at him for the guidance on the vote. I think Mark would have gotten his way. Yes, like he's definitely the silent king of this tribe. And I'm sure he doesn't want to be looked at that way. And he's probably just like, oh, don't look at me. Like, oh, look at someone else. Look at KJ.
Yeah.
And everyone shook their head. No, we're not voting you out. Absolutely. It was just so frustrating that another person from my team went out, another super fan.
Oh, that was fine by me. It was totally fine by me when it happened. It was like, oh, I didn't get Sophie out the last time. Now I'll get Alex out and I'm still upper hand in the draft.
Yes. Well, I mean, you can't like get 12 people out of the game before I get anybody. Like, it can happen. So it sucks that it's going this way, but I feel like there's going to be a turn of events eventually. So Chris also says Alex is a massive fan of the show. I know, that's why I drafted him. He didn't want to quit, but I think that he was in too much pain. JLP making the choice for him is anticlimactic. Yeah, I was bored. Of course, Chris. Everybody follow him. Subscribe. Do it. We're trying to get him to 1,000 subscribers. So he does the Australian Survivor like we do. I think he's also doing the Amazing Race, the challenge stuff. So get on it. Great content. So yeah, anticlimactic episode, and then we have the next one coming up, and now I don't even know what I'm writing here. So what I'm writing, Jesse, the kid is being fun, so make big moves later on. Oh, right, okay.
We wrote pretty much the exact same thing. That's so funny.
Yeah. Really? What did you write?
I wrote Jesse, the kid is being funny. He wants to pull big moves later.
That's like actually exactly what I wrote. Like I put like later on and being fun, but that's like well, anyways, I mean, that's a really great strategy, right? You want people to want you to be there. You want to be good in competitions, or you want to perform well physically. You want to be likable around tribe. and you want to be someone that people feel comfortable talking to.
Yeah.
And so
It's Fabio from season 22 of Nicaragua. Like, that's pretty much what Fabio was he was the goofball that wasn't too threatening, anybody could get rid of at any point. But he did do very well strategically. Like, he actually was trying to pull off a lot more moves earlier on, but he wanted to be likable. That was his strategy to win. And Jesse is very good at potentially doing it that way.
Yes, I do think so, because he doesn't come across as threatening, which is perfect position to be in. I had to put this comment up. I don't care. I would have gotten my ass up out of my seat and been like, "Sir, you are wasting a perfectly good blind side on yourself quitting. Quit tomorrow and vote Con right now." Like, absolutely. I would be pissed. I'd be pissed.
I would be pissed for the move as well, but as Con, I would be pissed if I got voted out and then he quit right afterwards. Like, I'd be like, I wish that you would have done it, but from a viewer standpoint, it would have been great to see that showdown. But maybe that's a showdown we'll see later down the line again.
Having someone quit is the worst type of tribal council that you can possibly have. It's just,
yeah, I wouldn't want to be sitting there going, we went through all this stuff and now all of a sudden you're sitting there saying, okay, I'm going to leave. Like, okay, bye, Janu. Bye, Austin. See you later.
Yes. So Sophie is now the Wicked Witch of the Outback. She wants Con out. But she actually is telling Con that she wants to work with him. So that's, at least she's kind of getting a little bit strategic here. It's like bringing your enemy closer and like becoming friendly with him so that you can slit his throat later. So that was at least something strategic that she is planning. And Con is somebody that you could want to get out, especially because he has the power of the idol. He has a lot of influence on the tribe. He's making all the food for the tribe, so people are going to want to keep him in. So he is a decent person to target.
And
go ahead.
I was going to say from this vantage point too. So if they're thinking now they've got Sophie and Sophie was betrayed by that tribe, we get rid of Con. Con can't go over to Amy and we'll still have Sophie. So maybe they were always thinking about where the numbers would lie if there was any sort of swap or merge. If they keep thinking Con is too much of a threat and Con might think he's on the outs, he might swap while Sophie wouldn't have anywhere to go to.
Right, because her tribe just voted her out. So she's kind of like, just scoop me up, guys. Scoop me up.
Yeah.
So this is the first time now we start hearing about Sandra being scared of the day 16 curse.
Yeah.
Do you remember this being something that Sandra is scared of? Because she said that when she hasn't won the game she's always been voted out on day 16.
Yep. Yes. In 34, when she got voted out, it was day 16, and then it happened again in Winners at War. So sure, like, that's approaching. That's something that's happened twice, and it hasn't been. It's been a coincidence, but maybe it hasn't been out of coincidence. So I'm sure she's thinking, I need to get past this hurdle. Like, I need to.
If she gets past it, she will probably win the game, type thing.
Yeah.
So yes, I agree with you here, Dolores. Is she going to go out on day 16? Like, it's definitely, we want to see if this prophecy will live on. And so I'm worried now when we're seeing at this episode, Sandra wants Dave out. I'm like, just let it be, girl. Let it be. Like, I get it. He's the low-hanging fruit. He doesn't have a partner on the other side, but you got to let someone else come up with the plan, as long as it's not you, and just ride with it, because I'm scared that her trying to go on a bit of a witch hunt to get out the person who she thinks is Dave that voted for her is going to get Sam squirrely and take her out. I'm just like, Sandra, you're playing with fire here.
Yeah.
So Amy, though, decides, somebody put a quarter in Amy and she decided to start playing a game, and he doesn't want to see Dave go. So she tells him, I don't want to see you go. And she starts kind of moving around and wanting to save Dave. What did you think about her basically going against Sandra?
Well, I mean, we're now what is it, 13 days into the game, and people are starting to really get their relationships going. And since Amy was one of the people who wanted to build that relationship with Dave, I'm sure she's trying to think strategically of who do I have really on my side to make sure that I have control. And after that vote with Sophie, it might feel like she has a bit more power to make some moves or plays that would really benefit her. And Dave, showing that love for Dave means that she has that number. From my side, I'm like, just get rid of Dave. He's boring. Like, I don't care if you want to work with Jay. Jay, you can work with Jay. But if you like, find somebody else. But they're all wanting to prove they're the power player. So she needs her little army of people. She's going to need to take whoever she can. And it's kind of like, okay, this is the option you got. Are you sure you want to take this person? Yeah, okay. That's who you got.
It's
It's
so
bad. I just don't
interesting
care.
because what I think is the strongest way to play any of these social strategy games is to be comfortable with people not knowing that you are in power.
Yeah.
Like, people seem to lose the game when they're like, I got power, I'm leading the tribe, I'm controlling the vote, I have all the power, and everybody knows it.
Yep.
Everybody's gonna slit your throat. Like, you need to be behind the scenes running the show, taking notes, so that when you're in the final tribal council, you can explain how you dictated the entire game. Like,
Exactly.
it's just such a bad move, Amy. But she's just out there with Dave and Jay in the water. And Sandra's not liking this. She says in her confessional, she thinks that because she's beautiful or really pretty, that she can use her looks to be able to get by in the game. And it will help a bit in the beginning, but it's not a winning strategy if you don't have anything else to go on top of just being liked because of your physicalities. So Sandra's with Sam and Michelle in the hammock, and she's still pushing Dave and having her eye out on Amy. I do like this trio, though. I do like Sandra, Sam, and Michelle working together, even though I'm scared of Sam for Sandra. I like this trio. So we have the reward challenge. We obviously the other tribe noticed that Alex isn't there, and Jonathan, I don't think he was happy about this quit, but he was like, Alex quit a tribal. I think it was him that said that, but it was definitely let out. And obviously Jay, his in-law, was upset by this. That sucks because he probably knows how much that he wanted to play this game.
Yeah.
The nullify take says, I blame the whole I need to build a resume thinking for why so many players try to play a big game so early. You got to just get to the end. You just need to make one big move near the end that, like, something flashy at a tribal, maybe, but like, wait till you're at least at merge before you start really making these big moves. Like, you kind of have to play the long game. Absolutely. Australian Survivor is also very long. It's not a sprint. I can see being messy and making these big moves in the new era of Survivor US, just because it's 24 days. So it's like, all right, by day 12, that's halfway through the game. Let's go, like, make moves, make your, prove your point. But day 9, just chill.
Yep.
Don't hang out in the water with the boys unless you want Sandra out you. Absolutely. Amy definitely did not learn her lesson there. So it's going to be the first to 3 for a club sandwich, a classic club sandwich. Do you like club sandwiches?
Of course. Who doesn't love a good club sandwich?
I mean, I don't eat meat
And
anymore.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win a club sandwich.
So whatever it takes. What was this game now again? It was another headbanger.
It was 3 versus 3. Getting the ball to your platform. So this was one of the ones
they're wrestling for it, and then one person has to run up the ramp and score the point. Headbanger type thing happening again. If I'm not mistaken, though, Blue wins this one, correct?
Yep, it was Ben, Croc, and Jesse for Red versus Mark, Josh, and Jordy for Blue. the line that Jonathan said was, "There's a lot of beef on deck." So true.
We need
And
to do
yes,
some Jonathanisms. I need to
yeah.
get some of his quotes.
And Jonathan and the Blue Tribe won round 1.
Oh, we're just gonna do round one. I just said them all. Blue won
Oh,
all
yeah.
of them.
No,
Only
no,
red
yeah.
only won once.
They
Dave
only
was
won once.
got the point for red, but the point getters
Yeah.
was Jordy, Nina, and then Jordy again, I believe, for blue.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
blue wins this reward. They get to have delicious club sandwiches. Con being a chef, he's describing the club sandwiches. He's enjoyable. I want Con around.
Kind of fun to have somebody who can change it up and maybe give something to talk about other than, there's dirt up my butt,
Exactly. So this is the second sketchy moment in this triad of episodes for Mark, where he
Yeah.
decides there's something that I've always wanted to do. And goes and flips over the table at a reward challenge in front of everybody. He's like, okay.
All right, Teresa. Like, this isn't the Real Housewives. Like, what was the whole point of that? That made 0 sense. He just wanted to do it. Like,
he wanted to see if there was like a clue, I think.
sure, but you go in front of everybody and say, I want to do this. And then you flip it over. And if there is, that ruins your strategy you've worked for so far. Why not just go over to the table, feel around, and then if nothing, just flip it over? Like,
I mean, just maybe don't do that at all. Just the flipping table just makes it so obvious that you're kind of looking but not looking. It wasn't a good look. Yes, I agree, Sherilyn. Jordy is better at challenges than I expected as well, because he definitely came through for blue this one.
Mhm.
So Michelle and Sam go out for an idol hunt. Wait, who was originally looking for the idol, though? It wasn't them.
So it was Amy, Dave, and Jay were idol hunting, and then Sam, Sandra, and Michelle saw, so they joined in, and they are all going out and looking for it, and it's that montage of who's gonna find the idol.
Oh yes, and like, oh, there's conveniently a long red pole out in the outback. Oh, and look at that. There's like a package in the tree. Let me go and use this pole that's right here in the jungle and get out the idol. So obviously they love people knowing that someone has an idol in the game, and so Amy gets this idol and she thinks that nobody has seen it. She hides it and pretends like nothing has happened.
Yeah.
So we get to the immunity challenge. It is swim it and shoot it.
Yeah. So people swim out, they climb a giant rope ladder, grab a ball, jump down, swim back, pass the ball on to somebody else. That person has to shoot it into a tube.
Right.
First to 5, win.
Pretty classic game. The people that can't swim very well at least have an opportunity to help, and they can just do the shoot it part. So that's where we found our girl Sandra. She was the shoot it part, because I think that she must not be great in water, because it seems like she sits out most of the swimming water ones.
Yeah, she said she's comfortable with water, but in a challenge, she's not going to have the longest strokes to get there, which is probably why we saw like somebody like Croc going out this challenge. He's a taller person, probably can swim faster than other people, but I don't look at Croc and go, that's an Olympic swimmer. Like, I would not think he'd be the person to do that, because then he's got to lift all 250 some odd pounds up that
and climb that rope.
wall.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be terrible.
Phil
has a thing for Croc. Yes, we did get a package. So I was wondering, like, is Croc going to go home? What is going to be the story around Croc? But it seems like it was because of the fact that he got winded when he did his leg of this particular part of the competition.
Been a lot of focus on Croc's performances and the challenges, where I think there's really high expectations considering what kind of sport like level athlete he is in Australia. And I think I said this before, it doesn't matter like really that experience, it doesn't necessarily translate to Survivor. because somebody like Jordy, who's doing really well in the challenges, we just saw him at the beginning of his like package digging holes. If or like the pre-show stuff, he digs holes for a living. Does that make him like he's going to be really good at swimming and shooting baskets? Not necessarily, but he's doing well because he's just been, naturally good at it. Croc is just naturally good at playing rugby or football. And it's not necessarily that he's good at everything else. And
at long distance swimming and climbing a rope ladder after. Absolutely. We only see the two women that do it were Sam. I thought she was going to be the only woman that was going to be able to complete that swim and do the swim it portion. But Shea also does this part. Croc was struggling, but Nina gets the point in there. Eventually the winning point for Blue. So it did go back and forth a little bit, but Nina did get the winning point in when it counted. So we're back at the blood camp and Amy wants to talk to the boys. I guess it's about the vote. But then Michelle tells Sandra that Amy has an idol. And I was so excited when Michelle told Sandra this. I was like, yes.
Finally something.
Yes, she got a confessional.
Finally. She's on the board.
Yay! Chris says Brooke Jowlett, who is a challenge beast in Australia, was a sales rep when she first played. So you're right, Ron.
Thank you. Thank you for saying I'm right. That's what I got.
He's always right.
Like it's not necessarily about being the strongest person to get that challenge win done. It could be a multitude of things that fit into it. So yeah, thank you.
So Sandra does start doing her little whispering and she's talking to the boys now that she kind of has the control over a little bit, but like not really, because Amy has a little bit of control and they a little bit feels on the outs because they didn't know about the last vote. So Croc, we're not sure how Croc's going to vote. And so there was a lot of unsure about how people are perceiving the new plan, and that's being Amy. Amy has an idol and Jordan gets this information. And he does go and he tells Amy, play your idol. So do you think this is a good strategy for him to say play your idol? Or do you think that there would have been a better way to do something with this information?
I mean, I wondered in this whole thing about them talking about splitting votes and they were going to split it between Amy and Jay so that they can flush out Amy's idol. I wonder if part of it is, I always wonder where Jay sat when it came to some of the other players in the game, especially the guys, because you could see a lot of the guys going off together and the girls going off. Where did Jay kind of fit into it? I wonder if Jay just never clicked with the guys. So I wonder if this was Jordan's strategy of trying to say he got Jay out of the game, which I don't understand why that would be a really big strategy move. But Jordan did have I'm not used to taking a passive role. I'm used to being a leader. And so he wanted to do something himself. So maybe this was his part of his way of taking the leader.
So we do see Amy telling Sam, Ben, and Jesse what Jordan had told her. And so I was worried. I'm like, oh, wait, so Sam knows this plan. So like, what's Sam doing? Whose side is Sam on? I started to get nervous here. And Chris is saying that Amy told everyone that Jordan gave her the information when she was asked. She threw him under the bus in a hot second. Yeah, well, she doesn't play the game very well. We know that she's not good so far. And I got so worried when Sandra says, though, asking how to spell Amy's name. Is it A-I-M-A-M-Y-A-M-I-E-A-I-M? I'm like, Sandra, these cocky things aren't good. I want to see them, but I'm scared for you that she might get the votes against you here. I wasn't sure how things were going to play out. Yeah. So at Tribal, I didn't write that much down for Tribal, but the one thing is that Sandra mentions, which we all know, is that like, well, nobody talked to me about what the plan was. Nobody talked to me about what the vote was. And so when nobody's talking to you, that's what rookies do, is they show that you are someone that's going to receive votes. And so Sandra's like, I know I'm going to probably be receiving some votes tonight. And then how did it come out, though, about the idol? Oh, does Sandra just say it? because I know Sandra goes, because I said when I was watching it right before Sandra said it, I'm like, tell her, say it. And I said that right before Sandra said for her to say it.
It was prompted about something about, Jonathan brought up something about the idols or the search for the idols. And then, Sandra said, why don't you just say it? Or like say it, and turned to Amy, and Amy just let it blurt out that she has an idol. And you're like, deny.
And obviously Jay's looking to her is like, is that true? And she's like, and so the fact that other people know that she has an idol, but she's also trying to do this whole big blind side and get people her numbers together, and Jordan's giving her information, like all this stuff is happening, and Jay, who you're trying to work with, doesn't know any of this information. Not a good look. So did you write down who voted for who?
Yeah, so we see that Amy received votes from Jesse, Michelle, and Sam. Sandra received votes from Amy, Dave, and Jay. And then Jay received votes. Oh, wait, no, I got that wrong. Hold on. Sandra voted for, Sandra did vote for Amy. Sorry, so it was Jesse, Michelle, Sandra voted Amy. Sandra got votes from Amy, Dave, and Jay. And then Jay got 4 votes from Ben, Croc, Jordan, and Sam.
Right. Yeah. The boys and Sam. So Jay ended up leaving the game, and it was pretty much at the fault of Amy, because if Amy hadn't tried to flip things around and get control of the game, and just let Dave go, I think Jay is a stronger ally for her. And so she, I think, lost pretty badly here. And so I lose another one bites the dust, because I had that pair, that duo, Alex and Jay. So I've lost 5. I've lost 5, and you've lost none. But this has been fabulously fun. We're keeping it under 2 hours. We're getting better. Like, I'm going to do a better job with remembering the episodes. Thank you so much for being on top of everything, Ron. Do you have anything that you want to promote before we say goodnight?
Well, if anybody is looking to shed some winter blues away online and have a good time with their friends, why not check out Good Time Games with Adam and Phil on Facebook? They offer a lot of really fun packages for groups of 6, or you could do a group of 12, and they offer some really fun activities, especially if you're a fan of social strategy games. So check out Good Time Games with Adam and Phil on Facebook.
Amazing. And I don't know if I have that link in the description box, but I will put it there from now on. Hi, Sherilyn. I'm not doing any live feeds this week, but I will be doing live after the episode on Monday or tomorrow, and I will be doing the roundtable on Tuesday. So no live feed updates, but I will be on RHAP Monday and Tuesday evening. So, yes, thanks for joining us, Chris, with some hot takes. Obviously, as I said before, everybody please subscribe to the Nullified Take. He is a friend of the podcast, and we do a lot of work together, usually the challenge related, but sometimes other things as well. And for us as well, please subscribe to Reality Realize with 3 S's. Be part of the family. Let's talk about this episode, this season, which is super fun. I'm super terrified with what's going to go on next episode. Watching the preview, it just looks like there's some sort of merge or some swap and getting swap screwed, or I don't know. I'm scared, but I can't wait to watch it tomorrow. So if you want to join me on the watch party with Sarah from Nerdtainment at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, we will be watching episode 7. If you want to join us there, 7 p.m. Eastern. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, and we will see you for sure together next Sunday. Bye.
Bye.